Okay, students, today we are going to talk about how to write a character sketch. All right. Now, when we talk about writing a character sketch, first and foremost, we need to know what a character sketch is. All right. A character sketch or a character analysis is basically a description that introduces the reader to a particular character. Okay. Now, when I say introducing the reader to a particular character, basically, we are talking about including the physical description, personality traits, the habits of the particular character that we are talking about. Now, any character from any of the stories or plays that you read, when we are going to do a character analysis or when we are going to write a character sketch of that particular character, we need to include certain things in the character sketch. Right, the character's personality traits, their habits, their strengths, their weaknesses, the history or background of the character are certain things that need to be included in your character sketch. Okay, it is basically a piece of text that can give a brief overview of a particular person or character to the reader. Now, as I've written here, practicing a character sketch enables you to improve your summarizing skills, which benefits you in various exams. Okay, this is also beneficial for you when you're doing your summary writing. Now, moving on to how to write a character sketch. Okay, when we talk about writing a character sketch, there are certain things that we need to keep in mind. First and foremost, research about the character. That is a few things that we need to keep in mind: their physical characteristics, personality features, emotions, etc., which would give a general idea of what includes the most important traits of the character need to be focused on. Okay, so when we are writing a character sketch, we need to know what the character is, their personality, the emotions, what makes them tick. That is the first thing. Research about the character. Second, create a descriptive snapshot of the character. Now, when I say descriptive snapshot, basically character sketches need to include certain important personality traits. However, when you're including these personality traits, try to avoid making it look like a full history of the character. Make a draft, just get a brief snapshot of the character, various features, characteristics, personality traits, emotions, what how the character reacts in various scenarios, all of that. So start with making a rough draft initially, reread and revise it till it attains a satisfactory standard. Proofreading your character sketch is necessary to avoid any possible errors. That is, after you are done with your character sketch, read it one more time to ensure that there are no mistakes, no errors there in your character sketch. Last but not the least, use short, crisp sentences. Now, when we are writing a character sketch, we need to remember that the character sketch aims to introduce the reader to the character. Okay, it is the intention of the character sketch is to provide an understanding of the character's personality. The character sketch should help the reader to easily form a visualization of the character when reading the character sketch. That is, your character sketch should enable the person, whoever is reading your character sketch, to easily understand what this character is without having to read the story or the play. Okay. Next, we move on to the format. Now, when we talk about writing a character sketch, there are certain things that we need to keep in mind. Okay. First and foremost, personality traits. We need to know what the various personality traits are so that it makes it easier for the reader to visualize what the character is. Right, it is important to define your character's personality and physical traits in detail to help the reader visualize how they look, how they behave, talk and act. So the various personality traits, physical traits, all of these need to be noted down. Next, add their background. So to give more depth to your character sketch, you can also include any particular thing that they always mention about their past and overall character. or their overall background, so that the reader is able to better relate with the character. That is to say, in your character sketch, a brief description of the character's background is needed so that the reader is able to visualize where the character comes from. Okay, what was their background? What is it that makes them react to certain situations? Adding the background can further give more appeal to your character, as you will go beyond how they look or how their personality traits. So giving the background of the character basically ensures that the reader is able to better relate to the character, because the reader, apart from just knowing the basic personality traits or knowing about their basic physical features, the reader also knows what makes them react to certain situations, what had they gone through in their past, what made them grow. Third, how they changed or evolved over the years, right? If you're writing a character sketch of a character you have read from a novel or a short story, then you must also include their evolution or development over time. That is to say, the character that you're writing about, whether it is a character from a short story, from a novel, from a play, you need to mention how the character has grown, how the character has evolved, how the character has changed as the time has passed. Mention how they have evolved as a person, what major changes you have noticed about them, or how they see the world now as compared to before. That is, what changes have happened to the character from the start of the story up to the end of the story. Next, how they talk and act around people. You must always analyze how the character acts around other people, whether acquaintances or strangers. You can also write about how the character talks about something that they are passionate about, or even their perspective at life. So, the next thing that you need to keep in mind is how does your character react, or how does your character behave when they are amongst people, whether they are people who are known to them, whether they are just acquaintances, or whether they are total strangers. How does the character react to each and every individual that is around them? This is another aspect that needs to be included in your character sketch, which will ensure that your character sketch comes to life. Next, the impact of this character on the story, or the impact of the character on the people around them. Another way to make a lovable character is to intensify the effect they have on people or even on the story. That is to say, observe how the person behaves with others, whether they are sincere, honest, or people pleasing. All these characters are going to make your character sketch even more human, and it will become even more interesting to read. So, the reaction or the impact that the person has on the people around them, again, whether they are friends, whether they are family, whether they are acquaintances or total strangers, how does the person behave? What impact does the interaction of the character with others have? This is basically what you have to do when you are writing a character sketch. These 5 points need to be kept in mind: personality trait, including the background of your character, how the character has changed or evolved over the years, how they talk or act around people, and what impact they have on the story, and what impact they have on the people around them. That is basically what is needed when you write a character sketch. Tips on how to write a character sketch. Okay, now since we've already gone through the basic format, what you need to include, what you need to remember when you're writing a character sketch, a few tips that will make it easier for you. First and foremost, focus on both physical and non-physical features of the character. That is, the physical features, the overall appearance of your character, the non-physical features, that is behavioral patterns, personality traits. Next, use words that help in the visualization of the character. That is, you need to use words which ensure or enable the reader to be able to clearly visualize your character. You need to be able to describe the character properly. The description should be well structured, clear, and concise. That is, When you're describing your character, when you're writing the character sketch, you need to be able to properly and carefully structure your sentences, right? Be clear, be crisp, and be to the point. Do not, or rather, avoid dragging out the sentences, avoid dragging out points just in the effort of making your character sketch longer. The character sketch needs to be short, brief, and to the point. Last but not the least, character sketch should provide a total outline of the attributes of that particular character. It should be written in a way that it answers all the questions that the reader might have regarding a character. That is to say, your character sketch should be able to provide the reader with a complete description, a complete analysis of the character, so that the reader is well aware of what this character is. The reader will be well aware of how the character behaves, how the character reacts, and what is it that the character does. Okay, what are the reasons for the various reactions, the reasons for the way the character behaves. All of these should be clearly outlined in your character sketch, and this is what is going to make a character sketch more effective and more pleasing, more interesting for the reader to go through. All right. So this is basically what is to be done when we talk about writing a character sketch. All right, that's all for now.